Tim was living a double life. At school, he was just regular old Tim. He ate lunch with his buddies. They talked about video games and made fun of the cafeteria food. Nobody would ever guess Tim had a secret. Tim had a girlfriend. Her name was Chloe, and she was awesome. She liked all the same stuff Tim liked. They would hang out at the mall and talk for hours. Tim felt like he could tell Chloe anything. There was just one small problem. Tim hadn't told anyone about Chloe. Not his friends, not his family, not a single soul. It was his big secret. The truth was, Tim was scared. He was afraid of what people would say. What if his friends laughed at him? What if his parents freaked out? Tim wasn't ready to find out. Tim's locker was his own personal fortress of solitude. It was covered in band stickers and drawings he'd doodled during boring classes. It was also the hiding place for his most prized possession, a picture of Chloe. In the photo, Chloe was smiling and holding up a peace sign. Tim had it tucked away behind his math book. He knew it was risky keeping it in his locker, but he couldn't resist sneaking a peek at it between classes. Every time he saw Chloe's smiling face, Tim's heart would do a flip. It was like she had this secret power over him. Tim also kept a photo of Chloe in his bedside table, but his fear was a powerful force too. It kept him from sharing his secret with anyone. Until Tim could figure out a way to tell everyone about Chloe, his locker would have to remain his confidant. He just hoped nobody decided to borrow his math book anytime soon. Dating Chloe wasn't easy. Tim had to be a master of deception. Whenever he wanted to see her, he'd tell his parents he was going to a friend's house. He'd stuff his backpack with a comic book or two. That way, if his parents walked in, it would look like he was just hanging out with the guys. Little did they know, Tim was actually off having romantic picnics in the park with Chloe. It was all very stressful. Tim felt like he was leading a double life. He was constantly looking over his shoulder, worried that someone would find out his secret. But being with Chloe was worth all the sneaking around. At least that's what Tim kept telling himself.
What are you hiding?
Joey asked, snatching Tim's beloved picture of Chloe. Tim's heart sank. He lunged for the photo, but Joey was too quick. He held it high above his head, a triumphant smirk on his face.
Who's this?
Joey asked, waving the picture in Tim's face. Tim was speechless. This was a disaster. Joey, sensing Tim's panic, saw an opportunity for some prime blackmail material. He knew he had Tim right where he wanted him. Joey was never one to keep a juicy secret, especially when it came to humiliating Tim. He raced downstairs, eager to share his findings with the rest of the family.
Mom, Dad, you'll never guess what I just found.
Joey shouted, bursting into the living room. Tim's parents, engrossed in a game of Scrabble, looked up in surprise.
Tim has a girlfriend,
Joey announced, waving the picture of Chloe in their faces. Tim's parents stared at the photo, then at each other. A slow smile spread across their faces. Meanwhile, Joey had moved on to texting Tim's friends. He made sure to embellish the story, adding his own hilarious commentary. Soon, everyone knew about Tim's secret girlfriend. Tim couldn't believe it. His worst nightmare was coming true. His secret was out. He waited for the laughter, the teasing, the inevitable humiliation. To Tim's surprise, his friends were actually pretty cool about it. They slapped him on the back and offered their congratulations. A few of them even admitted to having secret crushes of their own. Tim's parents, on the other hand, couldn't stop giggling. They kept making jokes about how Tim was all grown up now. Tim wanted to crawl under a rock and die. He knew he had to do something. He had to tell them the truth. Tim took a deep breath and walked into the living room. His parents were still chuckling over Joey's dramatic retelling of the day's events.
Guys, I need to talk to you.
Tim said, his voice shaking. The laughter stopped. Tim's parents could see that he was serious. Tim told them everything. He told them about how he met Chloe at the mall and how much she meant to him. He told them about how scared he was to tell them about her. To Tim's relief, his parents didn't laugh. They listened patiently, nodding along as he spoke. When he was finished, his mom gave him a hug.
We're happy for you, honey.
His dad patted him on the shoulder.
Why don't you invite Chloe over for dinner tomorrow night?
Dinner with Chloe was a resounding success. Tim's parents were charmed by Chloe's sweet personality and infectious laugh. Joey even managed to refrain from embarrassing Tim for once. As they ate, Tim's parents peppered Chloe with questions about her family, her hobbies, and her plans for the future. Chloe answered their questions thoughtfully, her cheeks flushed with a rosy glow. Tim couldn't help but smile. He was so relieved that his parents finally had a chance to meet the real Chloe. He knew they would love her as much as he did. After dinner, Tim walked Chloe home. As they strolled hand in hand under the moonlight, Tim realized that his secret wasn't so scary anymore. In fact, it felt good to finally share it with the people he cared about most.